Hey, 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 cooking with your girl Judy. Today I'm going to do a red velvet cake. I'm going to start off with, well, it was a red velvet recipe that was given to me by a friend named Virgil Fuller. She gave me this recipe about 12 years ago, and I have been following this recipe faithfully. It's been the only red velvet cake recipe that I have ever used for the last 12 years. And we're going to start with 2 eggs. Well, what I'm doing, I'm doubling the cake, because I'm sending one cake over to Cleo Avery's house. Her son passed away. So I'm going to send one cake over there, and I'm going to keep one for myself because we like red velvets. So I'm doubling the recipe. The original recipe is 2 cups of oil, 1.5 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of cocoa, 1 teaspoon of soda, baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, 2.5 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of butter, milk. 1 bottle of red food coloring. So since I'm going to double the recipe, I'm going to use 4 eggs instead of 2. Instead of 1.5 cup of sugar, I'm going to use 3 cups of sugar. And I already got my measurements poured out. 3 cups of sugar. One teaspoon of cocoa. Instead of 1 teaspoon of cocoa, I'm using two teaspoons of cocoa. 1 teaspoon of soda. Instead of 1 teaspoon of soda, I'm using 2 teaspoons of soda. 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Instead of 1, I'm using 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Half a teaspoon of salt. Instead of 1/2 teaspoon of salt, I'm using a whole teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to add my oil and flour. Instead of 2, okay, let me see. Instead of 2.5 cup of flour, I'm going to add 5 cup of flour. 2 cups of oil. Instead of 2, I'm going to add 4 cups of oil. I'm going to alternate it in. Alternate, I'm going to put a little flour and a little oil. And I'm going to mix. Little flour, little oil. Little flour, little oil. Little flour, little oil. The rest of the flour, and the rest of the oil. And as you can see, it's done got thick like peanut butter. It looks like peanut butter. So I'm going to add whole cup of buttermilk. Well, instead of 1 cup of buttermilk, I'm using 2 cups of buttermilk. I'm going to use 2 cups of buttermilk. Remember, I'm doubling the recipe. One bottle of red food coloring. 2 bottles of red food coloring. And now it's not so tight like peanut butter. It's not as thick, and it's gonna smooth on out with the buttermilk and the red food coloring. I'm going to use the spatula to bring the bottom to the top because it's still sort of brown, and I'm bringing the bottom to the top. Making sure it's all mixed up. Now I'm going to spray my pans. With Baker's Joy. You don't have to put flour on it. You just spray your pans and put it in the pan. Baker's Joy. Shake it up real well. Now, in order for me to get the same amount of cake batter in each pan, I'm going to measure it out by using a ice cream scoop. I want all the layers to come out the same amount, or level, the same level. So I'm going to put one layer, one scoop, I'm sorry, two scoops, three scoops. Shake it around. Pat it under the bottom. Get the air bubbles out. One. Two. Three scoops. Pat it under the bottom. I don't know why we pat it, but my mom used to pat hers, and she used to always tell me she getting the air bubbles out. So I still do the same thing my mama taught me. One, two, three scoops. And that way each layer will be the same size. Pat it under the bottom. My oven has already been on 350. I'm going to put these cakes in the oven on 350 and let them cook, I think, for about maybe 7-8 minutes or until they are done. I'll show you how to tell if they are done by sticking a toothpick in them to see if it comes out clean. But right now I'm going to put the cakes in the oven and I'll be right back. Now that the cakes have been out the oven for a minute, I'm going to test them. And how you test them is stick a toothpick in them. And if it comes out clean, you know your cake is done. You know each one of them are done. Now I'm going to take them from the pan. And it should drop right out. It should. Wow, it did. A little bit left, just a little bit. All 3 layers come out good. Now I'll be right back. I'll show you how I'm going to make the icing. Now I'm going to show you how I make my icing. I use 2 8-ounce packs of cream cheese. 2. That's 1. And this is the second one. Remember, I'm doubling the recipe. One stick of butter. I'm taking the other cakes out of the oven and putting the other ones in. One stick of butter, 2 8-ounces of cream cheese, and just a minute, about a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. About 2 teaspoons. This is the best vanilla I've had. It smells like liquor, and it tastes so good. It has everything tasting so good. Now I mix my butter and my cream cheese together. And remember, everything I have done for this cake so far has been room temperature. The eggs have been room temperature, the butter, and the cream cheese. Everything is room temperature. powdered sugar. About, let me see how much this is. This is a 32-ounce bag. I'm going to use the whole bag. 32 ounces of powdered sugar. I'm going to put a little bit in at a time. Well, half of it. I'm going to bring it down off the side of the walls. Make sure it's mixed good. Pour the rest in. Powdered sugar. Pouring the rest of the powdered sugar in. Pulling it off the sides. We're through making the icing. The icing comes out real creamy, like store-bought icing, only better. I'm going to drop a couple of ice cream scoops on top of it, on top of red velvet cake. That's how I do my icing. Spread the icing on the cake, rather. Lid on top. It fell apart a little bit, but I'm still working with it. Drop another scoop. 2 scoops. This cake's so moist it fell apart. This is the best red velvet cake recipe that I have ever had. I'm trying to tell you, in about 15 years I've been making red velvets. The last 12 of them have been the best red velvet because I followed Virgil Fuller recipe. It's coming apart, but I'm still working with it. That's because it's so moist. It don't taste like store-bought cake, like some in a box. And it don't taste like it's got too much cocoa in it. Most red velvets I taste lately taste like they got a lot of cocoa in it. I'm going to spread it with this so that I won't tear it up. Tastes like they got a lot of cocoa. And I can't stand a store-bought cake or a box cake. Even though it fall apart, you can still work with it. I'll be right back. There it is, a homemade red velvet cake. This is the best cake you can ever eat. I bet y'all thought I wasn't going to put no nuts on it. When y'all saw me layering them cake levels together and I didn't put no nuts, I don't use a lot of nuts. A lot of people are allergic to nuts. Some people don't like nuts. So I put the nuts on the top. Okay, I'm back. I had to see what my dog wanted. A lot of people don't like nuts. A lot of people allergic to nuts. But I'd rather do without the nuts. So there it is, red velvet. Made by, recipe by Virgil Fuller. I've been had this recipe for 12 years. 15 years. 15 years. This is the recipe that she gave me. Be humble, be blessed, and have a good day. Y'all don't have to leave or go home, but y'all got to get out of here. Bye for now.